On Thursday, October 20th, 2022, Pa Ndery Mbai Lowe gave his first statement in 6 months of trial in Germany. The Gambian national and an alleged member of the notorious killing squad called the Junglers, accused of crime against humanity, claims that he was never part of it and that the self-incriminating statement he gave were based on narration of others. All cards are now on the table in the trial against Pa Ndery Mbai Lowe in the German city of Celle. On Thursday, 20th October, the Gambian defendant and a 47-year-old alleged ex-military man of the Gambian Armed Forces broke the silence and had his lawyer read out a statement that completely twisted the narrative that the prosecution had been trying to establish since the beginning of the trial in April. Lowe, who appeared in court wearing a black hoodie, grey jeans and black sneakers, was accused of crimes against humanity in conjunction with 2 murders and 1 attempted murder. He is alleged to have been a member of the Gambian ex-dictator Yahya Jammeh's notorious death squad known as the Junglers. According to the indictment, the aim of the Junglers' operation was to intimidate the Gambian people and suppress the opposition. One of the victims was journalist Dada Haidara, whose son Baba Haidara has joined the proceedings as a plaintiff. Lowe is accused of being the death squad's driver. He allegedly drove the killers to their missions and in one case used the car to block a victim's vehicle. Among the evidences against Lowe is an interview he gave in 2013 to the opposition US-based Freedom Radio, where he described being present during the assassinations. But on Thursday, in his statement, Lowe claimed that he lied about his involvement with the Junglers. It had been known beforehand that the statement would not contain a confession, but he did not expect it to be that constructed, said the plaintiff lawyer Pierre Stolle. After the court session, which lasted 45 minutes, the statement had been translated to German and was read out by defense lawyer Matthias Krakel. In it, the defendant starts by talking about his personal background. He was born on the 14th of June 1975 as the oldest of 7 children. His father died 19 years later, which is why Lowe was not able to go to university after graduating from high school. Instead, he worked in a gas station until he decided to sign up with the military. After completing basic training, he worked in the State House, the residence of the then President Jammeh. In 2001, he was trained as a driver and practiced this profession for almost 10 years. Even though he said he tried to advance in his career by participating in a training with Libyan soldiers, he kept working as a driver for the State House or for the Borders Patrol. Lowe claimed that yes, there was a special patrol team of 8 to 13 men who carried out the deadly attacks, but that he was not part of it. I was aware that this team had been established, he said through his lawyer in the courtroom. They were executing the president's order, but nobody talked about what exactly it was that they did. In 2005, he said that the unit was expanded and provided with black uniforms and black cars. They became known as the Junglers, Black or Scorpions. Later, he said all of the other units received black uniforms as well and were called the same names. Today, I understand that they were trying to hide the Junglers in this way, Lowe said in his statement, adding that he did not find out what the Junglers did until 2006 when some of them told him about the killings. At that point, according to Lowe, a member of the Junglers called Malik Jatta told him that they had killed his half-brother. Despite his anger, Lowe claimed he kept in touch with them, hoping for more information from the perpetrators. He went on describing situations in which Junglers told him about the murders of journalist Dada Haidara, of oppositional Dauda Nyasi, and about the assassination attempt against lawyers Usman Silla, for which Lowe himself is accused in Celle court. One Jungler allegedly told him about the killing of Haidara while they sat in a bar drinking. I did not drink any alcohol, Lowe stressed. I just paid and drank non-alcoholic beverage. Another time, he said, drunk Malik told him how they shot Nyasi, and during a car ride, a third jungler told him about the attempted murder of Silla, and that Lowe claimed that in 2013 interview, he was based on other people's narration. I did not participate in any of these crimes. But why then did he tell this incriminating story to journalist Pa Ndery Mbai, editor of Freedom Radio? Lowe explained that he grew more and more anxious about the information that he had been hearing, but did not know what to do with it. I was afraid for myself and my family. During a trip to Senegal to visit his mother, he got hold of an issue of the Freedom newspaper, which was not available in Gambia. He called editor Mbai and told him what he knew. They kept in touch regularly so that, according to Lowe, the journalist could get information and pass it on to the radio and newspaper. This phase ended in 2012, Lowe said in his statement, when soldiers came to his house to arrest him, but he was not at home. They came again a week later and broke the door. They threatened my wife that they would arrest me and that nobody would ever see me again, he said. At this point, he decided to leave the country. A month later, on the 15th of July 2012, he received a phone call from Mbai. I knew the date because I marked it red in my calendar. Read Lowe's statement. It was the day that I decided I would do everything I could to bring down Jammeh. That day, he claimed Mbai called him 3 times, desperate because he had been publishing so much about the jungler's crime, but it had made no difference. Lowe said Mbai urged him to pose as a jungler and make all his knowledge public. He said, I was the only person who could make the people in the Gambia believe the truth. Lowe declined at first, but Mbai persisted. In his third call, he allegedly told Lowe that after the next election, Jammeh would appoint himself king for life. At this point, Lowe decided to help. A while later, he got a visa, traveled to Germany, and gave the incriminating interview to Mbai over the phone based on, as he claimed, narrations of others as well as discretion from the journalist himself. He considers this scheme a success. It did finally lead to the people in the Gambia knowing the truth about Jammeh, he said in his statement. Mbai, the only person who could confirm or reverse this version of the event, passed away a year ago, but Pa Ndery, who represented the joint plaintiff Baba Haidara and Ida Jain in court, considers Lowe's statement inconvincible. The information he gave in the radio interview was very detailed, said Ndery outside the courtroom. It is not plausible at all that he made all of it up. The details also conformed with those mentioned in the testimony of his client Jain, who had been a witness of Dada Haidra's killing. He could only have known those details if he was at the crime scene himself. In addition, Ndery said that there had been testimonies at the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that mentioned Lowe, as well as accounts he gave to people in his personal circle and to the journalist Fatou Camara. Camara is scheduled to testify in cell in November despite some difficulties in bringing her to court. It appears that Gambian authorities no longer support the German judiciary in this case, said Judge Ralph Gunther at the beginning of Tuesday's session. They had not forwarded summoning letters to Gambian witnesses. In this universal jurisdiction trial, scheduled until January 2023, both plaintiffs have testified in the past weeks, as well as 2 former members of the junglers. It remains to be seen how the trial will continue and what evidence is needed to complete the picture that the defendant has now contradicted, according to victim's lawyer, Ndery. Source: Justice Info. Reporting for LSTV1, I am Ami Fadera.